couple queens, and right now I'm going to proceed to take down this Nexus. And he's chrono boosting out a Colossus, still not working on that Thermal Lance, and more Void Rays coming out, so he wants to continue the harass as far as that goes, and I'm just going to focus on bringing this expansion down and not letting him get that economic advantage. If he wants that money, he's going to have to expand out. And now I'm going to pull my Hydras back, which is just perfect timing because there we go. He's got a Colossus out. He's got a total of 4 Void Rays on the field. Let's just take a look at this. 6 kills, 1 kill, 0 kill, 0 kill. So you guys, you're the rookies in the crew. This Colossus wants to get some action. These Zealots are down here. But, you know, all those probes, 23 probes, killed a lot of those guys. Both of us getting pretty well mined out at the main base, but I'm the one with an expansion I've been running right now, so I got a few more Langs, a few more Hydras. I think I'm going to push out with this. You know, maybe not the wisest choice, but I'm not really afraid of any Void Ray harass because I've got four queens at the space, a bunch of Hydras in reserve right here, and there comes the Colossus, and that to me is a signal to pull these Hydras back because what are they going to do? Shoot at them? I mean, they've got the same range right now, but just fries them. It's not worth keeping them around unless I can catch this thing out in the open on its own. So, right here, I think we're both going to play a little bit of a macro game for a bit because he's off of 1 base right now, no expansion, really close to mined out. My second, I decided I didn't want to put any workers at that, actually. I decided it was just kind of a bad idea to actually populate my expansion, and also very cool to sit on. Well, no, I'm actually not sitting on too much money, but he, on the other hand, sitting on a lot of money right now because there's not much he can do with it. He's left with only 2 warp gates, 1 robo facility, a couple starports. He could be doing a lot with that money, actually. I'm a little surprised to see that he's not building anything with it. Things that you don't even know when you're playing the game, that your opponent just happens to be sitting on 2,000 money and 1,000 gas. So there goes another gateway. There's that Thermal Lance upgrade, almost done. I am pooping Creep over here because I figure if he's going to try to take like an expansion outside of this, this is going to be the most likely one. And I will be sending a Zerglin out soon enough once I produce some. I've got a lot of Hydras here, so I'm obviously ready to counter any type of air attack that he comes at me with. And there goes my Spire, so in response to his Colossi, my response is going to be a Spire, and I'm going to transition into a Mutiling build, probably away from the Hydras, just because I don't know how much more he's going to go with the air units, because I've effectively countered them with my Queens. I've got a lot of Hydras on the field. This might not be a good idea, so there we go. Still trying to harass me over here, but these Hydras just are not going to allow any type of Void Ray harass unless he has a lot of them out on the field. He would need a lot of those guys, but I'm finally ahead economically. This is the first time I've been there, and I actually moved this Overseer over here. That way I could get a little bit of a high ground advantage and maybe snipe these guys out just a little bit sooner, but I needed to expand. Look how close I am to mined out. Same thing over here with him. No expansion. He's running off at 1 base right now, still sitting on a lot of money. Now, if I had that, I'd be putting down 2 more robo facilities, just burning that, but at the same time, you know, he won't be able to fund it soon enough, so I can see maybe where he won. I did manage to snipe 1 Void Ray right there, creep boost, awesome, that guy just barely got away, but they are going to kill my hero Lang, who's been watching the Zelnog with me for so long. And over here, he actually sent this probe over here to build an expansion, so that was just great game sense on my part. My Overlord is like, you can't build on my poop. So, right here, he's moving out with his Colossi. Now the Void Ray is going to do a 2-pronged attack right here, so a lot of Hydras, a few Mutas, and a few more Mutas. Let's check out the production tab right here. Nope, there's my Mutas right there. And you can see that I've got my Queens positioned right here, 5 Queens. He's not doing anything. But just look at this. Charge lots, Colossus against Hydras, they are just getting face melted. This is why I wanted to transition to something else, because once he has the Colossus out on the field, those Hydras are almost worthless to me. They just get absolutely obliterated. You know, War of the Worlds, People Dust style. Those Void Rays are going to go down very easily. I'm just going to chase this one down, superior mutalistic speed. And right now, chrono boosting out some Phoenixes, so interesting play. I go Roaches, he techs to air to counter my Roaches. I then tech to Hydras to counter his air. He then techs to Colossi to counter my Hydras. I tech to Mutas to counter his Colossi. And now he is teching to Phoenixes. This is just such an awesome game because of all the tech switches, because I'm moving in my Mutas right here. I'm checking out to see if he has anything for base right there. With all that extra money, you know, he can at least afford to be pumping out some units that he's got going on. And he built a pylon over here. He's probably going to warp in a Stalker or something else over here just to push this away. He's going to throw up his expansion again over here. And right now, I'm worried because with those mutas, I'm like, hey, he hasn't expanded again over here. He hasn't tried to rebuild that. So my little Zerlian is just going to be a hero and tell me everything that's going on over here. But I don't see what's going on over here with that proxy pylon. So these mutas continuing to fly out. We check out the income tab, 35 to 24. I'm just doing a horrible job at saturating, but just this game, I've had to focus a lot on military, or at least I've felt like I had to. I'm trying to keep my money spent pretty effectively, and I think that's really the big deciding factor, is that I wasn't the one sitting on so much unspent resources the entire game. But if we look at what he's building right here, there's a lot of Phoenixes and a lot of Stalkers in the air, so this is a great setup to counter my Mutalist combination. The Zerglings can really get in here and they can mess up these Stalkers, but the Mutas are going to be the bulk of my army, and right now, as you can see, I've got this pack from over here going to pick off the Stalker. But I don't have a lot of Mutas, and with that number of Phoenixes on there, I don't think he has any air upgrades. It's more Phoenixes. He's just really committing to that. So right here, this is where my Mutas get scared, because all of a sudden they're like, oh, dude, we can't fight these Phoenixes. But I see that he's chasing me right here, so what I actually do is I grab all of my Queens and I move them down here, and I'm hoping to catch the Phoenixes kind of in an ambush as they come through, because I want to snipe out a few of these guys using my Queens. But right here, he turns back before he commits, and there we go. Queens taking some pop shots. All they're really going to do is drive him away. Just picked away at one of the shields right there, but these Queens right here effectively countering his air twice over with the Void Rays, with the Phoenixes secondly right there. So that expansion just going up, and he's going to be saturating that right now. He's completely mined out at the main. I've got one left, and I'm actually throwing up a Ninja expansion over here. I've got the Geysers queued up to be built, because knowing last time that I scouted that he didn't have this up, and that he hasn't scouted anywhere else, I feel safe taking that expansion. He's got a decent number of Stalkers, a Colossi, he's got a lot of Phoenixes there. That's just a hard counter to my air army, but I've still got some Roaches, some Queens out in the field, more Hydras, so just really crazy army compositions. You normally don't see these builds, and right here I'm just moving in my Queens, moving in everything, hoping to counter all that air right there, and there we go. Round army is taken out. All he's got left are these Phoenixes. Just, I think, good composition. The Roaches and the Hydras really make fast work of a lot of the gateway units like your Stalkers, and the Mutas are really good for taking out the Colossi. So right here, some charge lots, but they're really not going to prove to be any real danger to me. And right here, just look at those Phoenixes go to town. Now, I tried to do some interesting macro right here, like I try to keep my Mutas away, and I try to move my Hydras into position, but right here, just moving in pop shots, going to try to pull these guys back, throw my Hydras up over here, so hopefully they can attack. But great Phoenix control on his part, although he has lost a good portion of his Phoenixes. And right now, the game is pretty much in my favor. I've got the bigger the armies. He's got 4 Phoenixes in play. And I want to go back and check out that APM counter again. So mine's went up a little bit. We're both pushing around that 80 to 100 APM range right now. We've got a few more Phoenixes out in play, but it's really just not going to be enough right now. I think I'm going to start focusing down the pylons, but I'm just a little worried. I don't want to lose any of my Mutas to these Phoenixes. I don't want to overcommit to engage them just because of how powerful they are. But I've even brought this Queen over here because she just wants to scratch the hell out of everything. And wow, I didn't even do any upgrades this game. So on my part, horrible, absolutely horrible saturation for 2 base, although it's basically 1 base. And here we go, got the lone Phoenixes left. That guy's got 3 kills. That guy's got 1 kill right there. That guy 0 kills. And this is basically right here. This is going to be GG pretty soon. I'm going to drop the Nexus. And all he's got left is this pylon with this probe and a few Phoenixes with that gas over there. So all the buildings are now empowered, and he actually stays with us for quite a while. I'm not sure if he was just frustrated that he had lost. Look at her just scratching the hell out of that gateway. Go, Queen. You still haven't gotten your kill. It's okay. And my Overseer's just chilling over here with 39 health. And right now he's just like, God, you produce enough Queens, but, your early air attack, and I'm like, nope, I love Queens, even with happy eyes. There's going to be the GG. Void Rays scare me. I'm still afraid of the map of the Void Rays, and definitely, I really enjoyed playing this game. I'm just going to drop the robotics facility. And he's like, but they're much less scary now, and I've got to agree. Void Rays were a lot scarier up until 2 days ago. He leaves the game, so thank you very much for watching this game. I thought it was, again, just some of the best play that I've seen out of any of the people that I've played against. I thought was some of the best play I did. And what I thought was really interesting is just the tech switch and how my early harass basically kept him on one base. His harass kept me on one base for a good portion of the game. Like if we look at these naturals right here, 915, 1200, 1100, 1212 over here, 7-7. So I mean, 1.5 base game for a 30-minute game is pretty amazing. But big tech switches from him, from Gateway to Starport to Gateway Robo, back to Starport, from me to Roach to Hydra to Muta, back to Roach, Hydra, Muta, just mass queens everywhere. Horrible job at spreading the creep, but just a really fun game, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. This is Malikicowtipper, signing out.